Welcome back to my channel. So I promised you a long time ago a story time. I'll tell you how I found out that my boyfriend of 2 years, 2.5 years I think, is actually engaged. First, let's talk about this weather. It's summer. It's really like we are within summer, but it's just insane. Like, I'm actually in shorts right now. I'm in shorts right now, but I just want to finish this video. Anyways, so what are we gonna call this guy? We all know the guy. We'll call him the health guy. Like, I've already spoken about two guys. There's a teacher, then there's another one. The other one, we'll call him the health guy. So we dated. It was in 2017. Okay, you already know who I'm talking about. Let me try and focus this camera. Okay, yeah, I think now it's much better. Okay, so we dated in I think it was 2017, and we were in different provinces at the time. So I'll travel from KZN to the other province, and then he'd also travel, but he's originally from here, KZN, and we actually met here in Mtwalume when we first met in 2012. We then connected but didn't really date. We were just speaking, and I was still with the teacher guy, and was sure that's it. But anyways, do that to meet, and then we start dating in 2017. I remember our first date was in hospital. I was in hospital admitted, and it was around KZN. So he came and basically spent the visiting hour that day. Visit him in like the end of the year, which was basically like a month before his engagement, his actual member. So not even engagement. So when I got back into his life, getting married, getting like in a fully committed relationship, and actually like at the stage of sexual to members, basically. So when I came in, it was in November. I mean, not November, but when I then went, it was in December, but he had bought certain things in November on the Big Friday sale. Okay, so I get there. You know how there's always like the fifth sale? Is it called the fifth or sixth cents? Whatever it is, but that gut feeling that you get as a female that like, no man, something is not right, but you like ignore it as you often do. So I get there, I'm like, okay. Why is there so much alcohol here? You don't even drink. Gives me the story. No, my sisters bayamula. Bayamula, so I decided to help my dad out with alcohol. That's why it's here. I bought it on Black Friday. I'm going to go down with it when I go back home in 2 weeks' time. It was already in December, yes. Going to go back home with it. When I go home, the thing is in January, so I'll have my parents don't have to worry about alcohol. I was like, okay, cool. Then we started speaking about Memulo, started planning certain stuff. Like, I started being smart. Assisting, like, who's gonna be the deco person, who do you need? I should have suspected the fact that why is it an event he was a sparker and he's the one who's worried about the deco, the whatnot. I basically planned a whole members for somebody unknowingly. My daughter. That happens, and then okay, the event December comes. Obviously. So then I dismissed the suspicion of Uguti. There's something happening in his life, because he legit gave a good case of ekhaya. He has sisters. He's the only guy. So he's the only guy, then it's his dad. So he was usually like very much involved in things that involved his sisters. So it made sense. Okay. Then January hits. He comes back he comes back in December. Sees me obviously the day that he comes back. I think I was working at the resort that I was working in that time. So he came and picked me up. Then obviously it was now going to be festive season, and we were like, we're not gonna be involved in indaba zokubonana. Not festive season, it was the week of New Year's. It was back then because his engagement was on the 8th of January. Yeah, 8th of January 2018, I think. Yeah, it was 2018 because, okay, let's go on with the story. And then that happens. I get to see the guy. And then the 8th happens. Obviously, he was some of the red flags. He was not on WhatsApp. He was not on, deactivated his Facebook, like, I think end of November. Yeah, he deactivated his Facebook end of November. So from December, he was not on Facebook. And newsflash, he got back to Facebook as soon as we broke up. He was not shady that day. He would speak as we'd speak, wake up in the morning, text or call. So I think that day he texted as usual in the morning, text, and then would check up on me during the day. It was just our simple routine, like our usual routine. Nothing changed. And then later that day, I don't know what, but my mom was just like, oh, right. And I even told him, I don't know what's happening with you, but something is not right. I don't know what you're doing there. Then he calls me. Because the event was in north of KZN, and he stays in actual Durban. So I think they had gotten back at that time. I think it was around 11 when we spoke. And we did that, and I was like, I don't know, but something is just off. I don't know what it is, but it is. But let it slide. I was like, you're just overly dramatic as you are, and your instincts. But my instincts are often, like 99% of the time, they are right. There is always something off if I feel there's something off, and there's always something right. They're not really, they become shady when it comes to something right. But when it's something off, I always know, this is correct. This is definitely what's happening. All right, so that happens. And then I see him on Monday. Then on Monday, I go down to Durban to meet with him. We have dinner. We have lunch. It was lunch. We have lunch. And it was fine. I think one of the things that made me never suspect anything would take pictures. I would upload them on Facebook. You'd even tell that I posted something, she uploaded this picture, and she commented as well. Like, it was just fun times. Like, this is such a cool picture. So it would be like, we good, man. We good. This is the goals. And I had an event end of January. It was not an event, an actual event. Here at home, and he was like, can I come? I was like, oh, okay, you can come. As long as you bring a female with you, just say you're friends with that person. Then she brought my friend, Gayo. They drove to Mtwalome together. They came, so he basically, not meet, but he saw, because he was here at home, and everyone obviously just assumed, and they've seen pictures of it's okay, this person they are dating. But obviously we don't introduce boyfriends as Zulu people. No red flags there. So we wouldn't suspect a thing. The year goes on. I have my 21st birthdays. Come to my 21st birthdays. He's seen by everyone. At that point, he now knew, okay, we are dating. And he's seen there. We spent the Saturday, then the Sunday. We drove back together to Durban after the party. And then he's the one who drove me home. And then one day, randomly, one of the cousins, not the sisters were on his team. One of the cousins decided to post pictures. Futhi not to go see, they only posted at that time. I just never used to go to profiles versus back. Like, honestly, they would be the ones who'd be on my profile commenting and whatnot. I was just never that girl. Decided that one day I was bored. I was really bored. I was at home actually, Futhi. I was at home, dad's side. It was holidays. So I think I probably like the September holidays. I was home that week. I went on that. I see pictures of happenings from yesterday from somebody who posted on the 9th and tagged the sisters. Obviously not him because he was not on Facebook. Tagged them and I go on pictures. So like first one, he's not there. It's just his sisters. I'm like, but he was home. Why is he not there? Sisters at the event. And then I think like the 9th photo, it's him. And so king and queen. I'm like, what is happening? I passed that one. The next one, I think he's now with his sisters. I'm like, I go back to that. I'm like, first of all, his birthday is not in December, is not in January. Second of all, the kind of relationship that we now have, he would tell me about this event. Then I was like, maybe it's something that happened like maybe in 2015. I was like, no. Yesterday is yesterday and it's now. And I was in the picture. I was like, okay, what is happening? I breathe. I go. Then I go to this sister's profile. Then I go on there. There are other pictures and like other posts of preparing for this guy's big days, Mr. Health, this big day. I'm like, big day. John. How? When? Wait. Then I phoned him. It was very early in the morning. I think it was before 6. He would wake up like at 7 because he had long shifts. So he'd wake up at 7 to be going to the hospital like until late. So he wouldn't wake up early. Like to call him at 6 would be too early. But I called him. And I was like, when were you going to tell me that you are engaged? That is like typical Zulu guy. I'm like, okay, what was happening on this specific day? He was like, I'm coming to KZN next week. No. I was like, no, I need to know about this now. I don't even care. You were just here a month ago. For we leave if it's nothing serious. It's like, okay, doesn't. Then he starts explaining himself. Like, when I met you, the girl was not in the picture, and then we didn't date for like 5 years, and then we started dating on the 5th year. I think we only started dating on the 6th year of knowing each other. And I had already started in the global line. I didn't wanna. Now I'm like, but you didn't tell me. I could have decided knowingly. So I mean, I'm just basically unotuli, and people are like. So we spoke, and I stayed. Guys, I didn't leave immediately. I'm not gonna lie to you and say I left immediately. Didn't speak to him. I was angry at him. I was hurt, and our relationship was not the same after that. It was not the same. Like, I tried. I really tried. But it just didn't work. I didn't feel the same way for him because more than just him being engaged, it was a matter of him not being honest about that. It was a matter of him at that point. So in as much as we tried that to act as if it's normal, it was not. We started winning each other back into speaking. Like I think it was in December when we started speaking. Like when I stopped being cold, because I still liked the guy, so it was very difficult for me to leave. And more than just liking the guy, like the relationship had gone for too long, and it was a nice relationship, I won't lie and say. But now I then started noticing stuff that I didn't notice before, like the fact that some days, so we leave hospital at 7, and when he leaves hospital at 7, when the wife is there, he'd call me at 7 and would be on the phone. He'd call me just before 7, like maybe at 10 to 7, and then would be on the call and on his drive back to the house until like maybe 7:45. And then obviously, because we've spoken for that long, there won't be a need for me to now call him. To call him again. So, but that didn't, like, when that was happening in the past 2 years, I wouldn't notice. I'd be like, I'm tired, basically. We've been talking the whole day, because we'd speak the whole day. And then when that time comes, it would be like, this is our last call. But I wouldn't notice it because, man. And then when that happened, I was like, no, wait a minute. And we started fighting because I would then call again, maybe at 9, and then I wouldn't get him, and I'll be like, proves my point. I was being fooled the whole time. So now whenever he does something, I'll go back to the fact that, hi man, this is why this has been happening for some time. The reason why we actually even broke up, and I had it enough. Like it was in 2018 verse, when the relationship was still going on. I had decided that I'm not going to be spending the rest of my life with this guy. He's a liar, and I don't see myself continuing to be with him. And I was starting to go insane. I was like no longer myself. Like whenever I feel like I'm no longer myself, I cannot stay there. So when that happened, I then started like looking at myself and realizing, no man, you're worth more than this. When things would happen, and I'm like, okay, I'm not myself, and I don't like myself this way. So that would happen. Things like me calling and leaving like 20 missed calls just so that I annoy him. I'll be like, no. And then I was like, I like this relationship, but I'm no longer here. Like that was my last step. That was my last straw. I wanted to prove that to myself, like that I'm lying to myself if I'm saying I'm happy. I was no longer happy. So when I left that place, it was in Feb. We only broke up like after May. I said to myself, I'm never gonna see this guy again. And it was true. I never saw him again. I never went back to the other province. I did see him when he was here, when he was trying to beg me. It was in July. I was like, I don't even want to see you. And at that time, I started to work on moving on with my life. And it was a great decision. But the last straw then was birthday. It was my birthday. Didn't say anything on my birthday. Forgot that it's my birthday, to be honest. Then at around 1, he calls me. Delil, how are you? I'm like, I'm good. And I'm like, I listen to him. Then he's like, I need to go to there's this other woman. I'm like, yeah. And well, today she's coming, and yeah, but today please don't. I was like, la 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 la. Ja. The fuck, excuse the pun, but I told him Gucci never to call me again, and then I told you even telling me that on my birthday. That's what happens with men. Mege wabanigeza a room, they make sure, and he made me see that Gucci, when a man proves to you, Gucci, how much does he take of you? Believe him. And I didn't believe him until that happened. And that was the last straw. That was when I said, that's it. That's the reason why I'm leaving. So yeah, that's what happened in that relationship. You'll need to stop asking. Those who know me know that they've been asking. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys are going to start believing guys when they tell you, when they show you who they are, when you find out stuff with the hope of things would change or things would be different. They're not gonna be. Believe that and choose wisely, whether it's choosing to stay, but don't choose with the mind yoguti things that the person is gonna be better or anything. They're not. They won't be. So choose yourself more than anything. Choose yourself more than anything, and in all situations. And welcome to Vlogmas Day 1. No, it's not Vlogmas. It is 5 days of Christmas. I promised you guys that, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.